Immigration, packing up, getting on a flight, and experiencing a new country. At first it seems simple and exciting, but the reality of the process soon hits you in the face. We've shared our complicated process in various vlogs. This video though is all about those little unforeseen things that kind of surprised us. A month-to-month cell phone contract should be easy to cancel, right? Well, it must have been my unlucky day because I ended up phoning the call center 3 times, giving my personal information each time, getting cut off the first 2 phone calls, and on the 3rd phone call they told me it's already been cancelled with immediate effect instead of only at the end of the month.
That's a bad day.
Craig only cancelled his contract with a service provider a few weeks ago and he had to do it from here in New Zealand. He ran into dead ends everywhere.
This is the worst.
Luckily, someone posted an email address on one of the Facebook groups and his contract was cancelled a few days later. I think I'm gonna need coffee for this. Who knew that accounts would be so hard to close? I thought that I had my fair share when I closed my Edgar's account a few years ago. But luckily not everything was difficult. Our medical aid and insurance were super helpful. Something else we had to get out of was our lease agreement. We still had a few months left on that. And the contract said that we would have to pay penalties if we ever broke the agreement. Sometimes you just hope for a bit of leniency, especially if you've been accommodating and the new tenants were moving in the same time that we were moving out. We knew we'd run that risk, but there's always to hoping. This brings me to bank accounts. Well, all the Facebook groups said to change your one-time PIN from SMS to email. That is not an option with NetBank, and this is why I needed a coffee. I literally went full circle with this bank. I went to the branch, they gave me a phone number. So I went home and I phoned, and they said I have to email. And then the response was that I had to go into the bank to sign an indemnity form.
My head's about to explode.
So I went back to a branch. I got the indemnity form, I signed it, and I gave it to them. So when I got to New Zealand, I emailed them again. It's a special SOS something email, and their response was that they needed, I've got the email here, that I needed to send a copy of my ID, a copy of my passport, application to amend, indemnity form notarized, and they told me if I signed the indemnity form at the bank, I wouldn't have to do this. So I soon realized that I didn't actually need a one-time PIN because I was able to make payments with the app itself, thankfully. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and close this account once and for all. Craig had a bit more luck with his APSO account, and the only issue is getting money out of savings where they say you have to go into the branch. So we're still trying to figure that one out.
I figured it out now. I couldn't do it in my app, but I managed to do it on the website.
So who knew that closing accounts and changing details on an account would be so complicated? Another thing to be aware of is the effect of your location on certain apps on your phone. So as we went through the budget, we both realized that we are paying for Spotify separately, so we tried to get onto one account. But as we were sitting next to each other, it just kept saying that we're not in the same location. So we're still trying to figure it out. As you might notice, I'm not giving you answers in this video. I'm just making you aware. There are small things that pop up here and there. And another thing that some of you might be interested in is the Google AdSense account when it comes to our YouTube revenue. I couldn't update it with a New Zealand address and bank account, so I had to close the entire account and reopen a new one with a new email address. It's all to do with tax in countries, I think, so it makes sense, but I had no idea that you couldn't change the country.
So on Strava, I also couldn't change the country, so it currently says Whangarei, KwaZulu-Natal. Another thing is that the streaming services apps here in New Zealand seem a little bit more expensive.
I must say, Craig worked out quite a detailed budget when we first considered our immigration, and we can't really think of many unexpected costs. But the one thing was, the first time that we looked at sending boxes over, we knew it was 5,000 Rand for 2 30-kilogram boxes. But what we didn't realize straight away was that you'd also have to pay a customs fee when it arrives in New Zealand. And for those of you who don't know yet, our boxes actually arrived about 2 weeks ago. And another thing that doesn't really have to do with unexpected costs, but with finances, is getting your finances over here. Craig did quite a bit of research, and I'll get him to tell you more about it when he gets home later.
So to transfer money from South Africa to New Zealand, we used a company called Elite Forex, which was recommended by our friends who immigrated just before us. We paid one fee to transfer all the money.
We've watched all the YouTube videos, we read all the Facebook posts, we kind of knew what to expect, but it's still different living through the experiences. It's like expect the unexpected, but the opposite.
Yeah.
Like you know what to expect, but it still comes as a surprise to you. And we're not complaining about any of this. We actually enjoy new experiences, but we just wanted you to be aware that there are things that you just don't think about.
One of the first things we noticed was, where is all the people? I mean, our home province of KwaZulu-Natal is almost double the population of the whole of New Zealand.
Yeah, I forgot to cheers you.
Cheers.
Cheers to large open spaces.
I love it.
Peace and quiet. Something else that we knew about is that the sun sets later, but getting used to it it's weird because you're like eating dinner a bit later and you're going to bed a bit later, and it's just very different.
Another thing that we obviously know is the time difference is huge to what we were back home, so to chat to our family and friends is quite difficult at times.
So phone calls would start with a message saying, "Are you awake?" or "Are you asleep?" When it comes to salaries, that's also different. Minimum wage is higher in New Zealand, and also most companies would pay fortnightly. So you never get to the end of the month and you're like, I want my monthly salary, because you get paid every 2 weeks, which is amazing.
Works out pretty cool. We know that New Zealand's known as the land of the long white cloud and that it rains a lot here, but the last few months has been record rainfall here in New Zealand. It's been very wet. We've had nice, beautiful sunny days, but it's rained a lot. And then coming from South Africa, where we had massive floods in April last year, to big floods here a few days ago actually in Auckland, it's been quite hectic.
And lastly, it feels like international travel is just so much more accessible to us. I know we're further away now, but the currency here is so much stronger and it goes so much further than the South African rand. So we're so excited to travel internationally from here. We are saving up and hopefully that will happen soon. So here's to international travel.
Cheers. Okay, it's getting a bit windy here outside, so let's go inside.
These might catch you by surprise. In our experience, people's reactions were very mixed. Most people were super supportive, but there were those that gave us all the reasons as to why we shouldn't go.
Please don't go so far away.
And they also told us about the bad experiences of their friend's daughter and so.
And in our case, we've definitely opened up a pool of judgment in posting everything we do online.
But that's okay. Most people have been so supportive in the comment section, but there have been those outliers.
Love note? No, this is gonna be a hate note.
Which we just ignore, because this is something we wanted to do and we were very happy in our decision.
We definitely know that immigration isn't for everyone, but for us it's been an amazing adventure and we're so glad to share our experience with you.
Also, these things are just our experience and different things pop up for different people. Our case was a lot easier than others, as we've said before. Those people with families, wow. I don't even know what you guys have to go through to bring your whole family over to New Zealand or whichever country. If you experienced any unforeseen things, or if you have answers to any of the things we've struggled with, you're welcome to put it down in the comments.
We hope you've enjoyed this video and we can't wait to share more of our experience with you.
See you in the next one. Bye!